Are you believing God or are you knowing God? There is a difference. Believing him is not bad. You have to believe that God is. You have to believe that Jesus Christ is the Son of God. You have to believe that he died and he resurrected if you're going to be ransomed, redeemed, and saved. But it's a totally different thing to know that you know that he is God. I just don't believe some things about my God. Some things I just downright know. And the only reason I know is because I have experienced him. Oh, come on, y'all. I can stand up here all day and talk to you about God being a healer because I know that he heals because he healed me. So I'm not just believing him. I'm not even just walking in faith anymore. I now have become healing because I know God. Oh, I could just branch off and go and not teach you, but just preach to you about what do you know him to be. I know him to be a father. I didn't know what a father was, but I know that Jireh is my, not just provider, he is my father. He is Abba to me because I know I have experienced him as a father. Come on, y'all. Oh, come on, y'all. What is it that you know, not believe that he is? What do you know him to be? Faith is not required for the knowing. Faith will get you to the knowing. But once you know that you know, you don't need faith no more because you just know.
Amen. All right. That's it. That's it right there.
Oh, come on, y'all. That's a little sleight of tongue. That's a little, you know, like an oxymoron, but it's the truth. I don't need faith anymore once I know. Faith had to drop me off to the knowing. But now that I know, it's not hard for me to accept him as my healer. He is my father. I'm not searching for an earthly father. I'm not searching for a man to be my daddy anymore because I know that Yahweh is a daddy. He's my sugar daddy. He's my daddy. He's my baby daddy. He all those things to me. I know he is Papa. He's Abba to me. Oh, my. What do you know him to be? I'm familiar with him as a healer. You know, you might see that the apple is red. You might sense that the apple is sweet. Somebody else can tell you how good it is for you. You can even, you know, looking at it and cut it open, you can see that it's soft and hard textures to it. But till you actually taste the apple, you don't know about the apple. You believe it to be. Oh, come on, y'all. But once I've tasted the apple, I know now what the apple is. I'm not talking from the place of observation anymore. I'm not talking from the place I know this. See, we struggle with God in those things we don't know. Though we believe him to be, though we've read about him, though we've convinced ourselves, though we consider him to be, you don't know until you experience him. So are you believing him or knowing him? Knowing can't come without believing. So I'm not dismissing believing. You have to believe before you can know. You can't have faith in something that you don't believe. But the saints have fallen down on the knowing. And we've fallen down because we don't want to go through nothing. We don't want to experience. How in the world you going to know him as a healer unless you've been sick? How in the world you going to know him as a dad unless you ain't got one? In order to know a thing, you must experience it. How will you know he's a provider? And he is the head banker in charge unless you've been bankrupt. We don't want to go through to know. The going through is not for faith. Faith is the road that takes you through. But faith is the bridge which you cross over into knowing. Faith takes you from just believing to now I know. Faith is the bridge up under your feet as you got to go through trials and tribulations. Faith said be persuaded. Faith said be assured. Faith says be convinced that you're going to make it. But I've only come to escort you into the knowing.